In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 28, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. South Alabama versus LSU. The LSU Tigers are set to host the South Alabama Jaguars on Saturday night in a non-conference matchup at Tiger Stadium. South Alabama has established itself as one of the stronger teams in the Sun Belt Conference in recent years, though they have struggled to find their footing this season, currently sitting at 2-2. On the other hand, LSU dropped their season opener but has since bounced back with 3 consecutive wins, steadily climbing the rankings. This will be the first recent meeting between these two teams, and while LSU is the clear favorite, South Alabama has both the talent and coaching to make things interesting if the Tigers aren't fully focused. Despite a packed Saturday slate of games, this contest is one that fans won't want to miss. South Alabama's offense has been highly effective through their first 4 games of the season, even though they haven't faced top-tier competition yet. Scoring 87 points in one game is no fluke, especially when followed by another impressive 48-point performance on the road the very next week. While LSU is expected to win comfortably, given that they are the superior team on paper, it's worth noting that the Tigers' 3-1 record may be a bit misleading, as they haven't always played up to their number 14 ranking. South Alabama boasts an elite quarterback who has yet to commit a turnover, and with LSU's defense showing some vulnerabilities, the Jaguars could find success moving the ball, particularly early in the game. LSU's struggles with their run game and inability to control the clock could come back to bite them, especially when it comes to covering the spread. South Alabama has covered the spread in their last 2 games, while LSU has failed to cover in their previous 5, a trend that dates back to last season. Given these patterns, the South Alabama Jaguars to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Defensively, both LSU and South Alabama have had their fair share of struggles this season, and one of the major concerns for both teams is their susceptibility to giving up big plays. LSU boasts a talented trio of wide receivers that will present a significant challenge for the Jaguars' defense, and even though the Tigers' run game has been inconsistent, their passing attack offers plenty of opportunities for quick scores. Meanwhile, South Alabama's quarterback, Lopez, has already thrown for 9 touchdowns this season. The Jaguars' ground game has the potential to disrupt LSU's defense and keep them off balance, allowing South Alabama to remain competitive. Both teams have been lighting up the scoreboard so far this season, with defense taking a backseat. South Alabama managed to score 38 points in a game they lost by 14 and has racked up an eye-popping 135 points in their last 2 contests. LSU's defense has shown weaknesses, but quarterback Garrett Nussmeier has stepped up in the absence of Jaden Daniels, leading the Tigers to score at least 34 points in each of their last 3 games. The trend for South Alabama has been towards high-scoring affairs, with the under hitting in just one of their last 6 games dating back to last season. As they head into what is expected to be a high-scoring game on Saturday, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Arizona versus Utah. On Saturday night, 2 new members of the Big 12 are set to clash in what was once known as Pac-12 After Dark. Despite the shift in conferences, I don't anticipate much will change in terms of the matchup's dynamic. Historically, the Utah Utes have had a tendency to dominate and impose their physical style of play on teams with high-powered offenses from the West Coast. I believe the same scenario will play out this weekend. Utah appears to be one of the more dominant forces in the Big 12, while Arizona presents a flashy, fast-paced offense that lacks the depth and consistency necessary to truly challenge the Utes. Utah's ability to dictate the pace of the game and force opponents into playing their style of football will likely give them the edge in this contest. The key question for bettors is whether Arizona can be more than just a one-dimensional show featuring quarterback Noah Fifita and wide receiver Jacob Cowing. The Wildcats essentially failed to show up against Kansas State, struggling notably on third downs. While Arizona only committed one turnover in that game, Fifita's tendency to throw interceptions remains a concern. Utah excels at putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks and forcing teams into difficult third down situations. Additionally, Arizona's offense has yet to prove itself as consistent or reliable. Wide receiver Teteroa McMillan has big play potential, but overall, I remain unconvinced by Arizona's offense after their lackluster performance in recent games. On the defensive side, Utah has a clear advantage, even if starting quarterback Cameron Rising is unable to play. Arizona's undersized defensive line will have difficulty generating any push against Utah's formidable defensive front. Running back Micah Bernard is the cornerstone of Utah's offense, but the team has depth at the position, with other backs capable of making significant contributions. If Isaac Wilson gets the start at quarterback, he'll likely lean heavily on Utah's strong rushing attack to move the chains, as the Wildcats' defense has shown little ability to create disruptive plays or turnovers. One thing I've consistently learned about Utah over the past few seasons is that Rice-Eccles Stadium is a nightmare for opposing offenses. It's one of the most challenging road environments in college football, and very few teams come out of there with a win. So far this season, Arizona hasn't beaten any team of note, and their biggest test ended in a decisive loss to Kansas State. Utah's defense should hold firm at home, leading the Utes to a decisive victory. With that in mind, the Utah Utes to win and cover the spread as the favorites is our full game side pick. Utah's defense has been among the best in the nation this season, allowing a mere 12 points per game while excelling at shutting down both the run and the pass. Their defensive prowess has been on display in games against teams like Oklahoma State and Baylor, where they limited their opponents to low-scoring affairs. Against Oklahoma State, Utah held the Cowboys to just 19 points, controlling the game by dominating time of possession and limiting their offensive output. Utah thrives in slow, grinded-out matchups, relying on their elite front seven to control the line of scrimmage and a disciplined secondary to prevent explosive plays. This defense forces opponents to fight for every yard, which tends to result in lower scoring games. On offense, Utah's freshman quarterback Isaac Wilson is still developing as he adjusts to the collegiate level. His 2 interceptions against Oklahoma State highlight his growing pains, and head coach Kyle Whittingham is known for employing a conservative game plan to protect young quarterbacks. With that in mind, expect Utah to lean heavily on their running game, especially with Micah Bernard coming off a career-high 182-yard performance last week. Utah's methodical, run-first approach eats up the clock and reduces the number of scoring opportunities. Arizona's offensive struggles further support the likelihood of a lower-scoring game. Quarterback Noah Fifita has shown flashes of potential, but his performance against Kansas State, where the Wildcats managed just 7 points, leaves much to be desired. Utah's defense is stronger than Kansas State's, and Arizona's issues with penalties and protecting Fifita are unlikely to vanish against a Utah front seven that excels at creating pressure. Last week, Utah held Oklahoma State to just 37 yards in the third quarter before a late-game rally made the score appear closer than the game actually was. With these factors in mind, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Oregon versus UCLA. College football conference play is now in full force, and this Saturday brings an exciting Big Ten showdown between the 8th-ranked Oregon Ducks and the UCLA Bruins. These two teams are no strangers to each other, having met multiple times during their days in the Pac-12. Historically, UCLA holds a slight edge in the series with a 39-32-0 head-to-head record. However, Oregon is currently riding a 4-game winning streak against the Bruins, with their most recent victory coming in a 45-30 win in Eugene back in 2022. The 2024 season has not been kind to UCLA, as the Bruins have displayed several glaring weaknesses in their first 3 games. Their rushing offense and passing defense have been virtually non-existent, and quarterback Ethan Garbers has struggled, throwing for just 3 touchdowns while racking up 4 interceptions. Adding to their woes, opposing quarterbacks have exploited UCLA's defense, accumulating a combined 659 yards and 7 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. On top of that, the Bruins have failed to force a single turnover since their Week 1 matchup. With these struggles in mind, Oregon's Dylan Gabriel and his potent offense seem poised for a big day at the Rose Bowl. The Ducks have dominated this matchup in recent years, going 4-0 straight up and 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 meetings with UCLA. The offensive struggles for UCLA are glaring, as they have failed to score more than 18 points in any of their first 3 games. The teams they have faced, Hawaii, Indiana, and LSU, aren't exactly known for their dominant defenses, making UCLA's offensive woes even more concerning. From a tactical standpoint, the Bruins' offense is likely to face an uphill battle. Their leading rusher has managed only 72 yards through 3 games, and the team is averaging a meager 2.7 yards per carry. Oregon's strength in the trenches should neutralize UCLA's rushing attack, which spells trouble for a team whose quarterback, Ethan Garbers, has only thrown 3 touchdowns while tossing 4 interceptions. While Oregon had a sluggish start to the season, they recently thrashed Oregon State 49-14 before enjoying a bye week, signaling they may have found their stride. The Oregon Ducks appear to be clicking at the right time after overcoming some early season scares. On the other hand, the UCLA Bruins have struggled mightily, particularly on offense, where they've been unable to establish a running game or generate points. That's not an ideal scenario when facing an Oregon team that has covered the spread in 8 of their last 9 games as favorites of 20 or more points. What initially looked like a promising late Saturday night contest could turn into a lopsided affair rather quickly given how these teams have been playing. UCLA's offense has been lifeless, and it's hard to see them finding much success against Oregon's stout defense. While the point spread in favor of Oregon is substantial, I'm not convinced UCLA can hang with the Ducks for the full 60 minutes, especially after being dismantled by LSU despite covering the spread in that game. Oregon is clearly the superior team in this matchup, and it wouldn't be surprising if the game is effectively over by halftime. UCLA is in for a long season, and this game could be a harsh reminder of that. In this matchup, the Oregon Ducks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Expect the Ducks to air it out frequently, as they will likely move the ball with ease against a porous UCLA defense. The Bruins have given up a staggering 76 points over their last 2 games, and opposing quarterbacks have feasted on their secondary. Oregon, while allowing at least 14 points in each of their first 3 games, has shown improvement. Even Idaho managed to put up 14 points against them. However, the offensive firepower of Oregon has been trending upward, with the team scoring an average of 37 points per game, ranking them 33rd nationally. They are also 16th in passing yards per game, averaging 309.7 yards through the air. Quarterback Dylan Gabriel has been incredibly efficient, completing 84% of his passes, and the Ducks are converting 44.44% of their third down opportunities, which ranks 36th in the nation. Given UCLA's defensive issues, it wouldn't be surprising to see Oregon put up 50 points in this game. The over has hit in 4 of the last 5 meetings between these 2 programs, and their last 4 encounters have averaged a combined score of 69 points per game. With both teams trending in opposite directions, I fully expect the over to hit once again. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.